Hey guys, so I thought to start this video by talking about that I probably think this board is the best electric skateboard ever made, and it probably is, but instead I'm gonna have a different angle here. I'm gonna talk about how I think this board have improved my life and make me a better e-skate rider. Before I jump into what I actually want to talk about, I'm going to throw some numbers on you and talk what I think about these numbers. And I do that because you guys freaking love numbers and specs, and even so it really doesn't matter. But yeah, so this board, at least they claim a range of 55 kilometers, that is somewhere around 34 miles. I'm not even close to that. I'm a very heavy rider and I ride very aggressive. And also if you change for bigger wheels, like I do at the moment, I'm rocking the 120mm wheels, that massive wheels, well, you're gonna get a lot less range. Still, it has an amazing range, but not anywhere close to those 55 kilometers range. With the big wheels, I'm riding very aggressive and getting somewhere around maybe half of the claimed range. Of course, with the smaller wheels, now the range is kind of like really long, a lot more than what I actually need. So I never really check the range. I never even do a range test because it will take me the whole day. Now, another of the very impressive specs is that you have a top speed of 50 kilometers per hour, and yeah, that is true. I can testify. And here is the thing, I think Backfire tends to lock their speed. So it probably can do a lot faster than 50 kilometers per hour, without a doubt, because it accelerates from 0 to 50 really fast and it holds that speed like it's without any effort. So yeah, 50 kilometers per hour, no problem. It's very fast, and another thing is it's also very stable at high speed, and that's one of the things that I love about this board. Now we have a battery 14S 2P with a Samsung 50S 504 watt hour. That is just basically as good as it gets. There is no better battery than this on an electric longboard. As a matter of fact, I don't think there are many bigger and better quality batteries on any electric skateboard. So yeah, it's just really, really good battery. Now, the motors are 6,358, 1,500 watt each. What that means, these numbers are totally made up for me. I mean, this is super powerful and very strong. Basically, if I'm not mistaken, it's the same motors that they use in the Backfire Hammer, which is an all-terrain 2-in-1 board. It's a much bigger and much more powerful, but actually, yeah, it's packing the same motors. But these numbers usually don't really fare well. Sometimes there are other boards that they're not as powerful with similar numbers, so I wouldn't go so crazy on these numbers. But yeah, there you go, you got the numbers. The truth is, this is very, very incredibly powerful. The acceleration is very fast and the braking is also very impressive. Now, let's talk about the wheels. So the wheel configuration for the stock board is 96mm with an 88 Durameter. I'm going to be talking about wheels later on when I talk about all the different wheels that I try on this board. Now the tracks are 8.5-inch forged CNC, most beautiful tracks I ever seen on any board, and they're so well made. But yet again, I'm talking in detail a little bit later. And then we have basically the max load, which is 110 kilograms, which is not that much. Like, I'm very close to 100 kilograms. So if you're a very big rider, I don't know, here it says that it tops at 240 pounds. And I'm somewhere around a little bit over 200 pounds. I gotta tell you, with me on top, it just accelerates crazy fast, even climbs crazy fast. So yeah, I would say it probably takes more than 110 kilos or 240 pounds, but yeah, that's what is officially the payload. Now let's talk about what I think this board really means to me, and how I just said at the beginning of the video that this makes my life better. Is that even possible? Well, here is the thing. I have somewhere around 30 electric skateboards, probably more, and I have like 10 e-bikes. So when it comes to personal electric vehicles, I have a lot to choose from. So for me personally, I tend to have more than one electric skateboard that is lined up ready to use at any single time. But that's what I do. I keep changing electric skateboards all the time. And probably if you're thinking of buying something like this, well, there is a big chance that you already have maybe a short board or a budget board that you were using and you're upgrading to. So you have more than one electric skateboard as well as me. Maybe you also have an all-terrain electric skateboard. But why did I say that these make me a better rider and improve my life? Because these boards simplifies that. I don't need to use different electric skateboards. I need one. And when you start riding only one board and always use the same board, and these boards have the power of an all-terrain electric skateboard, have the portability of a shortboard, well, kind of, not really a shortboard, and it's not as light, it's a little bit heavy, but still it fits on the boot of any car. I can take it with me anywhere, I can carry it. So yeah, it's not the most portable, but it's portable. It's not like an 80 board that is super big and heavy. So this is actually portable regardless of being heavier than most electric longboards. It still fit on any car, no problem, and it packs some serious power. On top of that, it's beautiful, and with the new wheels configuration, I mean all the new wheels options that came up after this board launch, make me really not wanna ride my 80 boards anymore, because like the wheels I have it with right now, the 120mm Backfire wheels, well, I can ride pretty much anywhere, even off-road. They're so comfortable, they're very easy to ride with. I mean, the center of gravity is a little bit higher, but other than that, it's just perfect wheels. Now, let's talk about some things that I didn't quite like about this board, and then we go back into why I love it so much. So there are basically just one thing that I didn't quite like. It's not that I don't like, it's that I hope it could be better. So I hope for a longer deck. So as boards keep getting more and more and more powerful, you need longer decks to make sure that you have a good grip on the board and you're more stable and you have more room for your feet and for your stance. So as fast as you go, your stance should get also wider. And I feel that's the only thing that I was hoping that the Backfire Zealot X will have as opposed to the previous board. Now the deck doesn't have any kind of flexes for the most part, it's just a stiff deck. I'm okay with that because with the new wheels you don't really need any flexibility, it's just perfectly fine. You have great contour, the concaves are fantastic, they're beautiful concaves. I just wish for a slightly longer deck. That's about it. Other than that, just as good as it gets. Now, there are some little things that I've seen other people talk about in YouTube. So one is the belts being too long. Yeah, that's right. I mean, I haven't had any issue with it, but I have to basically set up the motors at the longest possible every single time with all the wheels that I have tried on. It's not a big issue, but I think they should change the belt somehow. I don't know, or change the pulley or change something there. Another issue that I heard about, and it's not really an issue, it's just like, you know, just peeking into little details, is that the lights do not change color. I mean, I'm cool with that. I mean, you have lights, no other board have lights, well, they are, but not as nice as this one. And the lights, even so, there are different systems. Let me show you real quick. So when you start the board, the light goes on and then it will go off, then the T light up. So this light is also useful, for example, when you're charging the board, that the board will light up, and then you can turn on the light from the remote, and that's already very impressive. And then you can press twice on the power button and you will have like this breathing and then blinking. Okay, it's already very impressive, but someone mentioning that, for example, when you're charging the board, it will light up, but when it's fully charged, it won't, the light is still on. So I think there are some stuff that it could be improved via some firmware upgrades, but other than that, I think it's already a lot. Another great thing about this board is right here, the remote. Now, it's okay, it's bulky, it's big.
Ooh, is that a Backfire remote in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? Yeah, it's the Backfire remote, but I also have an erection, yeah.
But even so, it's big. It's the most beautiful remote controller I have ever seen. And on top of being beautiful, it has a fingerprint sensor, which is something that I haven't seen on any other board, and a circular screen, which is also something that I haven't seen before. Now, a huge advantage for this is that if you're left-handed like me, you can hold the remote and still see the screen. This is a first for me. So this is the first time that I can actually see the speed. This is one of the things that I was talking about earlier, where I say this makes my life better. I can know my cruising speed, I can know my top end speed. Before I was like, basically, I couldn't do it. Like, I'm blocking with my hand the screen, can never see the speed unless I like hold the remote like this. And you don't want to do that when you're riding very fast. So that's really amazing. Another thing is the grip is particularly really good because when you're holding the remote, there is a space for your fingers to literally just sit there very comfortably. Like I said, it's a little bit bulky. It's bulky in your pockets, but other than that, it's just so well made. Also, the battery lasts quite some time in this remote because, yeah, there is a space to put a big battery. And another thing, I love the dedicated switch for reverse, something that it was long lost in the hobby wing boards. Now it brought back by Backfire. Actually, they've been having it for a very long time. And also the fact that they're not just one button. I know this, like some people like minimally, so like just one button, but I like to have extra buttons. I like the convenience. So yeah, and another thing about this remote is that you can access full settings to the board directly from the remote control. You don't need an app, you don't need to do anything special, you don't need to press a lot of buttons. You just literally push one button and you go in a full color screen, change your settings, and then you can basically configure how you want the board to react on each individual mode. So you have eco mode, sports mode, and turbo mode, and you can set the amount of power you want on each level, also for braking. And that's very convenient because there are some times in which I'm gonna be just cruising, and for that I maybe use a sports mode, or if I lend my board to a friend that never ride before, I quickly switch to eco mode, and I have my turbo mode for when I want to have some fun. And I know exactly what each mode does. I know that many of you guys probably thinking about buying this board is because it looks beautiful. Design-wise, it's most likely the most beautiful board ever made. I mean, the lights, the bottom of the board being all white, while the top of the board is being black. They changed the logo, they make it nicer. I mean, everything about it, it's just so much detail went into it. Even the tracks looks beautiful. By the way, when it comes to the tracks, and this is something that we shouldn't overlook, they did such an amazing job because they're amazingly stable at very high speed. So I can cruise at 40 kilometers per hour. I can cruise at 25 miles per hour, no problem, while at the same time carve without any issues. So that's a problem that I used to have with the MIPO Voyager, that yeah, it was stable and it can really speed up very fast, but it wouldn't carve as well, or at least when I need to turn, it wouldn't be able to turn like very sharp. Like with this one, it's no issue, it's stable, it turns very well, and at the same time, it just looks like the most beautiful tracks ever on any electric skateboard. They're like the CNC aluminum, like it's just so beautiful. Well, what I wanted to end this video with is like, this board is beautiful, performs like no other, and like I was saying, it improved my lifestyle because now I can ride for long distances without getting tired and having fun. While with other boards, I will get tired because if you want to put 120mm wheels, then you need to think of getting an 80 board with pneumatic tires, and if you're going to be over bad roads, you definitely need those pneumatic tires, which now I don't. But if later I need to get an 80 board into the boot of the car, it might not fit. It won't fit on all the cars, right? But this board does. So it makes my life easier. I can go everywhere now with this board without having to worry about, and if later it's raining, I can just put the board in the boot of the car, call an Uber and just go back home. Makes my life easier, and also make me a better rider because I don't need to keep switching boards so often like before. And by riding the exact same board every single time, I know where my center of gravity is, and that put me like into sync with the board, which makes me ride better. Alright guys, that is it for this video. Let me know what you think about the Backfire Zealot X in the comment section down below. By the way, I will add an affiliate link. It will be very important for me if you can help me buy from the affiliates instead of buying just randomly from the website or from someone else's affiliate link. So if you have appreciated this video and you're planning to buy this board, please use my affiliate link. Alright guys, that's it. Adios amigos.